What's up, y'all? Tama Kendama, and today we have another Kendama review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Tama Kendama TK version 1. Disclaimer before I start this review, I did get this item for free, a complete setup, but I did buy a separate Tama with my own money so I could get both of the paints so I could do a better review for you guys. As always, we're going to start with what you get. You get a really nice Tama Kendama bag. I don't know why, but these Kendama companies are coming out with really nice bags. Also got a couple stickers, also the extra string tool, all that good stuff. You obviously get the Kendama. They have a couple different wood options. You can get beech Ken, ash Ken, maple Ken, and they have an assortment of different Tamas that are awesome that vary from their nice matte rubber paint or their sticky glossy paint. I got the maple Ken. I also got a beech Tama for this Boba Fett Tama, which is awesome. For the Avatar Tama, this one is in ash and it is in sticky paint. As for the design on the Kendama, getting into the Ken first, we got two burns and they're both in between the ring stall and the handle stall. This one is the TK logo right there. We also got a Kendama in kanji, or the Japanese writing. I think that says Ken. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments down below. But there's nothing else on the Kendama at all. It's just those two burns. Pretty simple. Tama designs, again, vary. That was their whole shtick, is making a bunch of Tamas with really, really cool designs. So right here, I have this Boba Fett one because, you know, it's really reminiscent of Boba Fett with his colors, like his helmet and all that stuff, which is really, really cool. Also got this Avatar one, which has this really nice white fade to blue and then the Water Tribe logo at the top. It also has this black and pink line thing. Feel free to check out all of their different designs because, yeah, all their Tama designs are really, really freaking awesome and cool. Now going into the Ken comparison section, here it is next to a Boost. As you can see, the cups are pretty similar in size in all aspects. In terms of comparing it to other stuff, I think this is the best Ken that I can compare. The reason why I like this Ken so much is that it takes a lot from a couple of different shapes without it realizing. I don't know if, you know, Tama Kendama, you know, use those shapes as reference, but looking at all these shapes together, they take really good parts from it. As for the space between the ring and the handle stall, that spot is really reminiscent of the Serial Hybrid 2, and it really looks like that. Also, the way the sword tapers, again, very similar to the Serial Hybrid 2, in my opinion. Where it differs from the Hybrid 2 is that the Serato, it's a lot more thin and sleek. It's a little bit more toned down. So the Lunars are obviously going to be better on the Hybrid, but it still gets its job done because it's a really balanced shape and they knew what they were doing. When it comes to the cup sizes, the ODs are pretty much similar to an Analog 2021, so that's what you can expect from that. And it doesn't have a super thin Serato, but it's just like a tad bit thinner than the Serial Hybrid 2 Serato. Now that we're done with the comparison, let's get into how this thing plays. All of your balance tricks when it comes to lunars and lighthouses are great. It has a really nice balance hold to compensate for this not thick, it's just, you know, a little bit larger between this like slip stop area, but they know what they're doing. They're gonna make a bigger base cup. They knew to put a balance hole. I feel like some companies don't have their balance holes dialed in, but Tama Kendama really has their balance hole dialed in. As for the Serato, if you're wondering, it does look a little bit smaller. It's really not. The cups, again, same OD as the Analog Kendama. And the Serato, even though it doesn't look like there's like a lot going on there, it's a pretty like balanced Serato. Cup rims are thinner, so your lunars, even though you feel like your lunars may not be as good, they stick pretty well on this thing, which is great. The wider base cup is really good for lighthouses. Instances are really fun on this as well. When it comes to your flips and stuff, it feels really balanced. When it comes to slingers, the space in between here is really good. And I feel like with this, you know, thicker base cup or, you know, wider base cup we have, slingers are still nice and they feel like they have integrity to them. It doesn't just feel like you're swinging, or it doesn't feel like loose, if that makes sense for those who do slingers really well. Juggles, late Kens, those are all super fun for that reason. When you have a really balanced shape like this, everything just feels good. Coming to the stalls, the rings, there's nothing special about this ring stall, at least in my opinion. The handle stall feels really good, especially on this ash Tama. Whenever I throw this on, handle stalls feel really, really, really good on this for some reasons. Also, the bird stalls are thinner in general on the small cup and the big cup, so your stalls are just going to lock in a little bit better. And if you get the Serato height right, you can lock in underbirds. I'm not going to do that right now on camera because I only have one hand. Again, I've been raving about it. It's really reminiscent of different shapes that I like, and it's in a really balanced package in the sense that, you know, the cups aren't too big, the sword isn't too thin or anything like that. It's awesome. It plays really awesome. As for breaking in the Ken though, it does have thinner cup rims, so when you beat this in, this is gonna cave in on itself and all that. I haven't gotten to that point because I don't really play Kendama outside like that anymore. But the base cup does have a flatter rim, so that's protected a little bit more. It's gonna be a little bit more durable. And this is not just a Tama Kendama thing. This is when you have a thinner rim on your cups. That's just what happens. When it comes to the paint, they break in a little bit different from each other. So the rubber paint from Tama Kendama is gonna be a little bit more slick than the sticky paint, but it's a lot more durable. I found that it takes a little bit longer for this to break in, but when once you do break it in, the paint gets a little bit softer and it feels really nice to play. Those of you who grew up on Azoras and all those slick paints, you're gonna enjoy this paint. It's not like super slick or like icy by any means. It's just gonna take a little bit longer to break in and may not be the grip that you're used to on a bunch of your other kendamas. When it comes to the sticky paint, it's your typical sticky paint. I will say that because I have a maple Ken, it's just not gripping onto this as well. But if I had ash or a beach Ken, the paint would be gripping onto this way better. I will say though, the sticky paint is a little less durable. Regardless, it still plays really well and it holds up just as well as any other sticky paint. You're gonna go through your sticky paint, it's gonna chip. That's how it's gonna be. When it comes to skill recommendations, I actually would suggest this for any player for one specific reason. This kendama is the most balanced, in my opinion, that's come out in a really long time. It just feels like a good kendama without having like really huge cups like say a Lotus or something, or a really thin sword like a Chrome or something like that. It doesn't have like the most chunky cups like a Serial Hybrid 2. And the only thing that makes this kendama feel maybe smaller than other kendamas is the size of the sword, but even then that doesn't really bother me. In my opinion, if you can balance everything out and the height of the sword is a little bit shorter than everything else, it doesn't really matter if you can balance out the shape and it lunars and gunslingers just as well as any other kendama. It's the in-hand feeling for me, and that's why I would recommend it to any skill level. You know me, I really do like beginners getting beginner kendamas, but let's say you're a friend getting someone into kendama and you're making the setup for them by some chance. Maybe you're on Kendama Depot, again, use my discount code. But if you're on Kendama Depot and there's a Tama Kendama Ken, maybe get one of those because they're pretty cheap. They're like they're under $20, which is a really good price. Maybe that Ken and throw in a cheaper Tama that's like $10 to $15. I think beginners really would enjoy this setup, and again, all skill levels will enjoy this setup. In terms of comp, use this literally everywhere because it's so balanced. I would trust this in comp. I would trust this in freestyle, especially just like switching grips, getting into different cut balances like lunar lighthouses, getting in and out of them, and then going into spike flipping tricks or going into spacewalk. When it comes to price point from Tama Kendama, I think everything's pretty reasonably priced for what you're getting. For a really awesome shape, you can get the beach one for $15.99 or the Asher Maple one for $17.99, which in my opinion, again, really good deals for such a good shape that's balanced. And then all their Tamas, I believe are under like 20 bucks, which is really good, especially for like how cool the designs are. And I know the paint, there's so many good paints out there, but here's the cool thing. Tama Kendama collaborates with a bunch of companies like Loftycraft, like Evo. Get those clears on the factory-made Tamas, and there you go. You have a really nice homemade clear on a really cool Tama design. Those really are all my thoughts on the Tama Kendama TK-V1. I can't get over it. It's a really just balanced shape. Again, it's not going to be outstanding at lunars like a Hybrid 2, but it doesn't mean it's bad. It's just not as good because it has a thinner serrato, but you can still lunar on it, which is crazy, right? It doesn't have a really heavy base cup like maybe a Stod mod, so then you can do slings for days, but it can still do them, which is insane. I really do believe in what Tama Kendama is doing, like coming out with just Tamas and then also having the Kens on the side and, leaving it up to the customer to decide what wood they want, what kind of Tama design they want. It's really cool. Tama Kendama guys have been in it and they've been doing it and they are killing it, so make sure you go to support them. I don't know if you can tell right now, but definitely try out the TK V1 from Tama Kendama. Those are all my thoughts, and thank you so much for Tama Kendama for setting this out. It's been a blast playing with this, trying to get a really good review out for you guys. I hope this informed you, but if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below or DM me on Instagram. I will always answer y'all. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe button, hit post notifications. It's gonna be one of the first to watch these videos when they come out, and obviously sharing the video goes a long way for the channel. This is Elijah from elco Kendama, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!